Hello everybody and welcome, and today we're visiting the monster of Gen 2. Today we're going to Mount Silver, grabbing our favorite Gen 2 kaiju, and seeing how it performs in Kanto. Tyranitar. I think the game will definitely be beatable, but I could see Lorelei being an issue as we get that far in the game. However, given how late that you find Tyranitar in the base games, I have never had the chance to use more than a Larvitar, maybe a Pupitar if I'm lucky. I've loved the design of this Pokemon for a long time, and if you look at its stats, speed is the only area that it's truly lacking, and even that isn't too bad. As we get our Tyranitar, we have the Sandstorm ability, which kicks up a Sandstorm and causes chip damage to every non-ground type. We have a Mild Nature, which increases special attack but decreases our defense. We give the rival Squirtle, because at the end of the run, that's probably going to be the hardest for us to face, since Hydro Pump will be able to send us to the Shadow Realm. For this beginning lab rival battle, though, there isn't much that he can do against us, because we're just so incredibly bulky this early on in the game. Now, with Legendaries, right after we finish the Professor Oak Pokedex delivery thing, they get the treatment of let's go fight the optional rival right away. And although this isn't a legendary, we're going to go ahead and head straight to the rival. Pidgey is up first, and we get hit with Sand Attack, but land a Bite, and then Sandstorm takes it to almost half. Tackle doesn't do much, and we miss. Another Tackle, another miss. Then, we both miss, because this is super riveting content. Thankfully, after that, our miss streak is over, and we land another Bite to take it down. After that, Squirtle's back out, and Bite misses, but then it takes about a third of its health. It uses Tail Whip, and we continue missing, because why do we want to hit our opponent? A few turns later, though, we do manage to connect and take it down with plenty of HP to spare. So from there, we're going to go ahead and go through the forest ahead, and we won't worry about taking on all of the trainers. There's two reasons to this. The first being the fact that we're a pseudo-legendary. Second, we already have an attack that isn't resisted by the first or second gym, so I'm not too worried about things overall. After a quick jaunt through the forest, it's time to go ahead and fight Brock. Brock first starts with Geodude, and we take it down to red as Tackle does a few points of damage, and then we take it down. After that, Onix is out, misses Tackle. We take it to right around half, and then we can take it out with a crit that was absolutely not needed. Well, with the first gym battle done and out of the way, we'll go ahead and make our way towards Mount Moon. Along the way, I wanted to say, if you like this kind of content, make sure to like the video, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channels. Our watch hours took a pretty big hit due to Chansey video popping off last year, and if you don't know, watch hours go away after a 365-day period. So now, we're about 600 hours away instead of the 300 that we were at, which is fine. Also, a coworker of mine got me Let's Go Eevee, so thank you if you happen to be watching this. My kid and I have been playing it, and it's kind of a blast getting to revisit these old games and seeing it through his eyes. Our team right now consists of an Eevee, 3 Bellsprout, and 2 Pidgey, because who needs variety if you're an 8-year-old? But then I also say this while doing a solo run, but the main reason that I bring this up is because if you've played either of them, which one did you go with? Did you go with Eevee, or did you go with Pikachu? It's the same style of question, Dome Fossil or Helix, except the Dome Fossil's the only fossil that matters. As we go into Cerulean City, we grab Mega Punch, mostly to make sure that we have a hard-hitting normal-type move. Given our weakness to Misty, we'll go ahead and try the rival fight first. This way, we only have to fight one Pokemon that we're weak against rather than 2, and the second one of Misty's is likely going to outspeed. The rival first sends out Pidgeotto, and we open with Mega Punch, taking it to yellow, and then it hits with Sand Attack before we take it down with Bite. After that, Squirtle is out, and despite the accuracy, we attempt a Mega Punch, connect with that, and take it to yellow, as Squirtle uses Tail Whip, then goes down to Bite before it can use a Water move. Rattata's next, and we use Bite, taking it down in one go, and then finally, you have Abra, and since it can't attack us, we're able to take it down without too much of an issue. Since the rival's done, we'll go ahead and head to the route to the north. There are plenty of trainers to the north, so we'll take out some of them, mostly the mandatory ones, and then it's time to take on Misty. This could still go poorly, but worst case scenario, there's still some trainers up north that we can take on, and then of course, there's trainers down south, and even more aboard the ship if it comes to that. I don't think it'll come to that, but you never know. Staryu's first, and we bite it to red as it uses Harden, and then Sandstorm chip damage just takes it out. Starmie is next, and we get hit with Water Pulse to below half, and Bite takes it to red, and Sandstorm damage takes it to a sliver. Due to where its health fell, we bite it again, and take it down to win the battle, which is good, because another Water Pulse would have absolutely taken us down. One more gym down, and Tyranitar's typing definitely didn't do him any favors in that last fight, but going into the next gym, we'll have zero issues. Erika, on the other hand, that could be tricky, but let's go ahead and not get ahead of ourselves and fight the rival on the ship first. Before we do, though, there are a few items that we want, and we also want to get the TM for Brick Break. Pidgeotto comes out first, and we go ahead and use Rock Slide, taking it down in one go. Then, you have War Turtle, and we use Bite, mostly hoping for a flinch, but it only uses Withdrawal. Since it chose not to attack, we just knock it out next turn. Raticate comes out, and we use our new move Brick Break, taking it down in one go. And then finally, you have Kadabra, and we swap back to Bite, as it uses Disable on our Brick Break, and we take it down in one shot. Now we'll go ahead and give the captain a good old rub down, and then go defeat the Trash Can Puzzle, which honestly is probably going to be even harder than what Surge will be. Surge first starts with Voltorb, but it misses Sonic Boom, and we actually take it down due to a critical hit Bite. Pikachu is next, and we swap over to Rock Slide to avoid the static proc, and we take it down in one go. And then Raichu is his last Pokemon, and it begins to set up Double Team. We hit it with Rock Slide, taking it down to win us a pretty simple battle and letting us move on. Now, we're going to be able to get into the next leg of the game after we get through the Dark Cave. In regards to our moveset, I don't think that we're going to need any immediate upgrades. As we get to the Elite Four, we might want to grab Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, but for right now, I think the moves that we have will probably get us through the rest of the game. What we'll go ahead and do is fight Giovanni, attempt Erika. If for some reason we can't take her on, we can at least double back to the tower and get through some levels through there if needed. I doubt it, but again, you never know. Giovanni is up and sends out Onix first, and we open with Brick Break, taking it down in one go. Rhyhorn is his next Pokemon, and we continue with Brick Break, taking it down as well. Then, finally, you have Kangaskhan, and he uses Fake Out for the first move. Next turn, it uses Bite and flinches us. Then, it uses a Mega Punch, and that doesn't do too much. And Brick Break takes it all the way down to red. The chip damage leaves it with a sliver. Another Mega Punch connects, and then we take it down to win the battle. Alright, let's see if we can go ahead, clear out Celadon City, and then we'll see how things go with Erika. Victory Bell is first, and we open with Bite, taking it to yellow, and it actually misses Stun Spore, so we're able to take it down without any issue. Then, you have Tangela, who comes out, and Bite takes it down with a crit that I'm not 100% sure that we actually needed. Finally, you have Vileplume, and Bite takes it down with a second critical hit. We'll take that win all day. We'll also grab the Pokemon that we need for Fly, and then head back to the tower. After we beat the rival, we could talk about how Tyranitar is doing, along with our little mid-cap review that we do every single run. Rival time. Pidgeotto comes out first, and we open with Rock Slide, taking it down in one go. Wartortle goes to yellow, and again, it only uses Withdrawal for the third time in a battle, so we could just go ahead and take it down without being damaged. Execute is next, and that could be an issue later on for the run, but as of right now, it goes down to a single Bite. After that, Growlithe is one-shot with Rock Slide, and Kadabra's the last Pokemon who can't do much of anything to us. So, we take it down with Bite, winning the battle, and letting us move on. Now that we're halfway through the game, we can go ahead and talk about how Tyranitar is doing, or at least how I think he's doing. And if you watch my shorts, a year ago, I put this into the S tier. And I think after getting to do a solo run with it, I'd still put it in the same tier. While the level up moveset isn't the best, it's still more than enough to get the job done. If I wanted to get some TMs that would make this a little easier, I definitely could. But since they aren't reusable in this particular gen, I try to make sure that I keep a hold of them until absolutely needed. For the rest of the game, I think Giovanni may be a problem, but beyond that, I think we'll honestly be fine. For now, we'll get through the Safari Zone as always, and then we'll go to challenge Koga. By the way, if you can't tell by the little bit of theory crafting, I tend to write these scripts as I go along, so even I'm not 100% sure how they're going to end yet. Coughing is first, and Bite takes it to red, and we actually flinch it. Koga does heal up, and we bite it again to take it to a sliver, and then the Sandstorm takes it out. After that, Muck comes out, and we use Bite, not doing as much as I'd like as it begins using Minimize. We do manage to hit it with Rock Slide to take it to red as it continues to set up. Unfortunately, Koga heals, and we bite it. We swap over to Screech to lower its defense, and it sets up Toxic. We do end up taking it down, but by the time we get to the Coughing, the damage is actually starting to rack up a little too fast for us to be able to handle, and then we just end up going down. The very next attempt, the Coughing is a one-shot this time, and with Muck, it doesn't set up Toxic for some reason, and despite us missing a good bit of attacks, we do manage to take it down, albeit I'll say most of that is probably due to the chip damage. Coughing comes out and we take it to red, then Koga heals up again, we take it to a sliver, and then the Sandstorm finishes it off. I love the passive damage that this has been providing BT dubs. Anyway, Weezing comes out and Rock Slide takes it to almost half, and we do get poisoned. Another Rock Slide then crits, taking it down and letting us win the badge. On to Silph Co, and I think at this point, Blastoise will probably end up being a threat. What we'll go ahead and do is attempt the rival fight, and if for some reason we're not able to beat him, there are plenty of trainers and vitamins throughout that building that we should be able to grab if we can't get past him. We also have the Quick Claw that we can equip if speed becomes an issue as well. Pidgeot is first, and we open with Rock Slide, taking it down. Blastoise is up next, and it will protect Stall when it can, which is fine, because the Sandstorm damage still ends up going through that. We swap over to Rock Slide, taking it down to yellow, and Water Gun does a solid chunk of damage, and then we can thankfully take it out before it can do anything else. Execute is next, and Bite is able to take it down in one go as well. After that, you have Growlithe, and Rock Slide takes it down with a critical hit. And then last up is Alakazam, who sets up Calm Mind. We hit it with a Bite to red, and then it goes down next turn to win us the battle. Time for Giovanni. Nidorino is first and is a one-shot to Rock Slide. Then Nidoqueen is out, and Rock Slide doesn't do a whole lot to it. We swap to Bite to test damage, and we take the half, but we do manage to flinch it. We take it to yellow. Body Slam doesn't do too much, so we take it down without getting a Poison Point proc. Try saying that 5 times fast. Rhyhorn comes out, and we swap to Brick Break, taking it down a one-shot. Then, Kangaskhan is out, we take it to a sliver with Brick Break, as it only uses Rage, arguably the worst move in existence, and then it gets knocked out by our Pocket Sand. Now, it's on to another gym leader that likely will not be able to do a thing to us. Sabrina first starts with Kadabra, and we take it down with Bite. Next out is Venomoth, and we use Rock Slide as it misses, and Leech Life pings off of us. Next turn, we do Land Rock Slide, and that takes it down. Mr. Mime is next, so we use Rock Slide again, managing to take it down in one shot. And then finally, you have Alakazam, as it sets up Calm Mind. We bite it, then the next turn, we take it down for a pretty easy victory, leaving us with only 2 more badges to go. On the way to Cinnabar, I realized as I'm writing this how late into the year we already are. I also realized this Saturday, tomorrow, I'm finally going to be able to sit down and watch the D&D movie. There's still a few things that I'd like to do before the kiddo gets back to school, but after a $1,000 car repair for the wife's car, I wish I could do it myself, but I'm going to be honest, when the check engine light comes on, the most I can do is look under the hood and confirm that it's there. Cars are not my forte, despite my grandpa trying his best to teach me when I was younger, but enough about real-life concerns. Let's go ahead and see how these pixels interact with each other. Blaine first starts off with Growlithe, and Intimidate isn't great for us, but hopefully it won't matter too much. Rock Slide does connect though, and it still ends up taking it down. Ponyta is next, and we use Rock Slide again, and that takes it down. Rapidash comes out. We get hit with Fire Blast, though thankfully it doesn't do much, and it doesn't get a burn, and Rock Slide knocks it down. 1 more Pokemon to go. We use Screech to go ahead and soften up the Arcanine, given the fact that we have 2 Intimidation drops and Fire Blast does connect. We swap over to Rock Slide next turn, and that knocks it out. We have 1 more gym battle, 1 more rival battle, and then we can theory craft a little bit for the Elite Four. For Giovanni, Rhyhorn is up first, and we use Bite, though in hindsight, oh, it goes down. I guess we didn't need Brick Break. We make sure to learn Crunch, since it's just better than Bite, though it doesn't have the flinch chance, which is fine. Dugtrio comes out, and it absolutely outspeeds us, and it hits us hard with an Earthquake as we take it down with Crunch. Then Nido Queen is out, and we do some decent damage with Crunch, but another Earthquake takes us to red. Despite us taking it down, we don't have much HP left, so the Nido King is able to just come out and take us down. A few attempts in, and we take the Rhyhorn to red and make Giovanni use a potion. Dugtrio's a one-shot, and then this time both the Nido Queen, thanks to a high roll on the damage, and the Nido King are a one-shot. We do get taken down to 15 HP in this process, but we outspeed his last Rhyhorn, one-shot it, and that lets us win the badge, although that was a very narrow victory. Alright, we have one more battle to go before the Elite Four, after we do a quick shopping trip. Pidgeot's first, and we get Feather Danced, and Rock Slide takes it to yellow. The next turn, we get hit with Wing Attack and take it down with Thunderbolt. Next up is Execute, and we use Crunch, taking it down a one-shot. With Blastoise, it sets up Rain Dance. We use Thunderbolt, taking it to right about half. Then, his next turn, Water Gun does a lot of damage, and we take it to a Sliver. But, the Quick Claw activates before it can react again, and we manage to take it down. Rhyhorn comes out, we use Crunch, taking it down with a critical hit. Then you have Growlithe, and Crunch takes it to a Sliver as it only sets up Agility. Flame Wheel does connect for a little bit of damage before we take it down. And then last up, you have Alakazam, who can't do anything to us, so we're able to go ahead, take it down. This took me about 10 attempts, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Now, we're on the way to the Elite Four, and we can go ahead and talk about the members a little bit here. Since we decided to grab Thunderbolt, that should let us face off against Lorelei alright enough. She also does have 2 Psychic types, but overall, given the fact that most of her Pokemon know Surf or Ice Beam, that's what makes her the issue. Then, you have Bruno, and we're weak to him as well, so he can be a bit of an issue. Mostly, I think that we'll be able to get through all of his Pokemon, but Machamp is the issue. If it lands a Cross Chop where it has a high crit chance, it'll probably one-shot us, but it's also not 100% accurate. Then, as we move on to Agatha, I don't think Agatha will be too much of an issue unless we spend the entire battle being put to sleep, but that's also an inaccurate move as well. Then, with Lance, we can learn Ice Beam, so for the most part, I think we'll be able to tank his hits pretty well. Then, as long as we avoid Hydro Pump from the rival, we should be good there. But, let's go ahead, let's face Lorelei, and see how we do. Lorelei first starts off with Dugong, and we open with Thunderbolt, taking it to not even half as it sets up Hail. We swap over to Brick Break next turn due to its partial ice typing and take it down. Cloyster is next, and let's be honest, it's never going to be an issue. If anything, it'll just stall with Protect. We do end up taking it down without any problem. Slowbro comes out, and we swap over to Crunch, taking it to yellow as it uses Yawn, which is not great for us. Lorelei heals up as we use Thunderbolt, mostly hoping for a lucky Paralyze as we go ahead and take a nap, and unfortunately we don't get that and we get wiped out next turn. So we do try this battle about a dozen times, and even if it doesn't put us to sleep, we're not able to take down the Slowbro, so after some level ups, we try again. At level 60, we take Dugong to red and Lorelei heals up, and then we take it back to red, then take it down. At this level, we're able to take the Slowbro down in one shot, thankfully. Lapras is next, and we open with Brick Break, landing a much-needed critical hit to take it down. Jinx is out. We use Crunch, taking it to red as Jinx puts us to sleep. It's able to do some solid damage, but we do wake up after a turn of snoozing, and due to the lowered special from the first Crunch, we take it down in one shot, winning us the battle, which means on to Bruno. Bruno first starts with Onix, and Ice Beam takes both of them down, and then with the Hitmonchan, we hit it with Ice Beam, and it takes us down all the way to 8 HP with Sky Uppercut. We do take down the Hitmonlee with one shot, and then with Machamp, we take it to yellow. It misses Cross Chop, and that's what lets us take it down to win the battle. Agatha. The first Gengar is a one-shot with Crunch, and then Arbok comes out, and we swap over to Earthquake and take it to red as it misses Screech, and then passive Sandstorm damage takes it down. Haunter is up next, so we use Crunch, taking it down. Golbat is next, and we Ice Beam it, taking it down too, and then finally, her Gengar comes out. It outspeeds us, but all it does is hit us with a weak Sludge Bomb as we take it down to win the battle. Alright, it is time to fight Lance. Lance first starts off with Gyarados, and we open with Crunch, taking it to almost half as it uses Twister, and the chip damage from Sandstorm takes it to what looks like exactly half HP. We leave it with a bit of HP as it continues with Twister, and then the Sandstorm leaves it with what has to be a pixel of HP. Lance heals up, but due to the special drop that it got, we take it well into yellow, and then we can just knock it out. Dragonair comes out, we open with Ice Beam, taking it down in one shot, and then we're actually able to repeat the process with the second Dragonair as well. As Dragonite comes out, we Ice Beam it, cross our fingers, and take it down. Then you have Aerodactyl, and Ice Beam takes it to red as it uses Ancient Power. Lance heals up, we take it back to yellow. Lance uses Ancient Power again. We swap to Crunch, and we take it down, winning the battle. Alright, we have one more battle to go, and this one can actually be a bit of a doozy here. The rival first starts with Pidgeot, and we open with Ice Beam, taking it to red as it uses Feather Dance. Not the best outcome, but it could also be a lot worse for us. The rival heals up as we swap to Crunch, taking it to half. The next turn, we're able to go ahead and take it out after tanking a weak Aerial Ace. Executor comes out, and we use Crunch, taking it down in one clean shot. Then Big Man Blast comes out, and we miss Earthquake as it sets up Rain Dance. We miss Earthquake a second time, and then Hydro Pump immediately knocks us out. So we do try this battle about a dozen times, but unfortunately it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We need to be able to dodge about 3 total Hydro Pumps, but the biggest issue is that we're taking Blastoise to a sliver, meaning that it heals up, and then we have to dodge again. Then with Executor, I actually found out that it's also a damage range, so we just do like 3 levels, just to see if that gets us out of this particular damage range, and then it's time for us to try again. At this level, we take Pidgeot to red with Ice Beam, and the rival heals up, undoing our freeze. We take it back to red, and then he swaps out to Blastoise as we hit it with a weak Ice Beam. We swap over to Crunch, taking it to yellow as it sets up Rain Dance, and the berry takes it well out of healing. We leave it with the smallest of slivers, and the rival doesn't heal up, so we're actually able to take it down. Then, Executor comes out, we swap over to Crunch, and that takes it out in one shot. He brings out Rhydon, and we use Ice Beam to bypass that massive defense stat, taking it down as well. The injured Pidgeot is back out, the rival heals up as we take it back to red. The rival heals yet again before the rival finally lets it fall. Now, Alakazam is out, we swap over to Crunch, though I'm sure Earthquake would do the job just fine, taking it down. Then you have Arcanine, we get hit with Flamethrower, retaliating with Earthquake, that takes it to red. Another Flamethrower connects, we take it down, winning the battle and the run. Alright, well I hope that you enjoyed that particular run, and as someone who never gets to use Tyranitar, it was nice finally being able to. For next week, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing, but I do want to say thank you for your patience as we navigate through the summer. Once the kiddo is back in school, we'll definitely do some more challenging runs with some first form Pokemon. I have quite a few ideas in my head, plus the ones that you've left me in previous comments, those are all saved. If you have any others, please make sure to go ahead and drop those. In the meantime, whether you guys have kiddos, school, or just enjoy the heat, I hope that you enjoy the summer. I personally cannot wait for fall, but I also work in a 100 plus degree kitchen. And speaking of, it is at this time, 12:22 on Friday. I'm going to get home at about 10, edit this in a couple hours, hopefully, and post it right about midnight. So, in the meantime, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit that like and subscribe button because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out!